right. I've already turned it around. I'm just waiting for it to actually get live here so I can see if I'm in the frame or not. Come on now. Did we actually go? There I am, maybe. Come on. Come on. There they go. All right. I need to get this better centered so that you can see my updated background. Friends, how about that? All right, I've got an updated background, and I put Beatrix, the dog. I've got Trixie there. I've got me and Meg and Trixie down a little bit. I've got some new album covers up there, and I've got my Awaken canvas up there as well. Did a little redecorating this weekend. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Kelly, I've got ELO, so I'll still have the ability to put, oh, yeah, and by the way, Dark Side of the Moon, I took down. It's been up there for like 3 or 4 years. We'll let others have a main spot, and so we'll circulate. Since I took Revolver out from the far side, and now you can just see the edge of it there. We'll rotate the stock, including the main time there. All right, rock and roll. Yeah. Leffe, LP covers are great for wall art. You've already got the album. You've got, it's perfect. It's perfect. Okay, you've got some nerve. Come on, it's Dark Side of the Moon. It's ubiquitous. You'll still see it occasionally. But the 4 that I put up, we've got Marillion, we've got Jackson Brown, we've got Nightwish, and we've got Big Big Train. There's a little more light in these covers than we used to have, so I'm sorry if it's glaring a little bit, but honestly, I don't really care a whole lot. These are all albums that I absolutely love and are very important to me, and I wanted to put those up there for y'all. So, yeah. Andrew says, no Kenny Rogers. Where did I put Kenny? Where did I put Kenny? I don't know. Kenny. There. He's never too far away. Because he helps me remember when to hold them and when to fold them. Okay? Kenny Rogers. The gambler himself. Y'all. All right. So I'm especially proud of that Awaken canvas. It's a reproduction of some artwork that John Anderson did for the lyrics to Awaken, and I just love it. It's been in the bedroom for a few weeks, and I've been thinking about, do I want to put it on the wall? Do I not want to put? I want to put it on the wall. So there it is, friends. We're awakened. And that is just fine. Yeah, awesome. So, my good friends, it's good to see all of y'all here. Who all do we have? Let's see. Who do we have with them? Andrew's here. He says he went to see Steve Hackett last night in Cincinnati. Yeah, it's a hell of a show, isn't it? They really put on a great show. And Steve, I don't know how he does it at his age, but 2.5 hours and he's just ripping it up. He's not lost an inch. Nad is singing great. It was great to hear Nick drumming. I got to meet Jonas. It was a lot of fun, and it's great to know that you went to the show as well. Who else is in the chat here? XBIA is with us. There's Steven. There's Kelly. Miyu is with us. Hi, Mark. Margaret's here. Leffe's here. Frank's here. Jeff's here. There's Fran. Awesome. Amethyst is with us. Rock and roll. There's Bill. Hi, Bill. We've already talked with Andrew. There's Katya. All right. All my friends are here. All my friends. Good to see y'all. Well, thanks for tuning in. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here. Sometimes I tell Megan it's a top 5 day, meaning it take all of the 365 days of the year. This weather is automatically a top. This might be a top 1 or 2 day, y'all. Nothing but sunshine out the window, negligible wind. Well, when we got up this morning and took Trixie for a walk, it was in the low 40s. Right now, it's right about 60 degrees. It's absolutely perfect. I can tell that a lot of people are out and enjoying themselves because the traffic on Sunday morning was more than I've ever seen out here. Yeah, we got to sleep in an extra hour this morning, but y'all, there was a bunch of people out enjoying themselves on this beautiful Sunday, and why wouldn't you? It's just lovely out today. So I think Meg and I are going to go out and enjoy ourselves and get some outside time. I might go to the dog park with Trixie a little bit later, and we're going to rest up. We've been Guitar Channel, great World Series. We really enjoyed watching the World Series. I really didn't have a rooting interest in either the Dodgers or the Blue Jays. I was just wanting to see some good baseball. And y'all, they played some really good baseball. Great pitching, great hitting. It was really entertaining, well played, hard fought. And, you know, as it was going on, we were rooting, I think, more for Toronto than we were for the Dodgers. Mainly just to stick it to America. Ha ha! Canada won the World Series, America. Deal with it. But, you know, it's fine. The Dodgers played their hearts out. They came back and won games 6 and 7 on the road. And they had to come back and do it. It was just really, really fun to watch. And it confirms to me, you might be different, but for me, baseball is my favorite sport. Baseball is the king of sports for me. It just is. It's got everything in there that you need. Andrew, when the 18th inning game happened, I think I made it to the 14th before I went to bed. I said, I'll see the highlights tomorrow. Yeah. Great game. Great baseball playing. And now we're definitely into football season. Life is good. Life is pretty good, y'all. If we focus on the stuff that's not burning down around us, it's not too bad, right? So we had a really good week this past week. And I've got a big week coming up this week. So let's get into it. We started last week with another Doug on Demand. Absolutely loved it. Thank you to the council members and Doug's Angels for participating in that and making those always an enjoyable experience. We started the week with a throwback episode for Metal Monday, The Mob Rules from Black Sabbath, the title track from their second album with Ronnie James Dio. I loved it when I heard it and thought I should share it here. And we haven't had some Dio on the channel in quite a while, so it was nice to get back to them here this past week. On Tuesday, we did a really fun fan favorites video over on Patreon. We were doing songs from our master list. And that reminds me that the next thing on my agenda, patrons, is to get back to the recommendations and go through those again and get that and get the list updated. Okay, but we heard music from Argent, from Blondie, from Peter Gabriel, from Return to Forever, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Manfred Mann's Earth Band, the Flower Kings. That song was really great. And we heard a couple of tunes from Stevie Ray Vaughan, a wonderful countdown. And I really enjoyed doing that one this past week. That's available on Patreon as we speak. Friends, go check it out. On Wednesday this past week, I took time to pay tribute to our friend Arjen Lucassen, Arion, and his project Arion, and specifically focusing on the longtime singer Edward Rakers, who sang with Arion and sang with Kayak, and spend some time getting to know his voice and some of his music because he recently passed. And I told the story that when I had talked recently with Arjen, that he mentioned to me that Ed was sick. And I had heard Ed sing on a couple of other Arion pieces that I had heard, but I hadn't really paid attention to who he was. And so this gave me an opportunity to learn more about him and his life and his music. And I was blown away. I was blown away by the clarion quality of Edward's voice, and especially that Kayak song that we heard. I really enjoyed that one as well. They've flown under my radar quite a bit. I think that's the first time I had heard music from them. So I'll try to get back to them before too long. I really enjoyed that song, friends. And then we finished out the week. It was Halloween day and evening. So I did a Halloween episode, and not many people watched it, y'all, but that's okay. I had a good time, and it got me in the mood for Halloween. We did some television and film greats. We did This Is Halloween from The Nightmare Before Christmas, composed by Danny Elfman, just wonderful. And then The Great Pumpkin Waltz from Vince Guaraldi. And I got to analyze that a little bit and just spend some time with the Peanuts gang. What could be better on a Halloween, right? Thank y'all. Y'all, the hardcore fans, y'all watched it. Thank you very much. Oh, me, wonderful. Thank you, Kelly. Yay. Katja, I don't know that song. Private Investigations by Dire Straits. I do not know. Andrew, somebody sent me the Marilyn Manson cover of This Is Halloween, and I watched it. I thought it was surprisingly good. Maybe not surprisingly, but it just comes with the reputation of Marilyn Manson and my naivete with his music. So I thought it was cool. Rosencrantz shared that with me, and it was quite fun to see that. Yeah. So, Stephen, he says, talking about sports, the United States played Scotland in an autumn international rugby match yesterday. And then he says, I don't think you will want to see the score. Did Scotland beat the crap out of the Americans? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Sláinte. Oh, thanks, Dennis. That was fun. Dennis is saying, thank you for sharing the Fountain of Lambeth. I was one of those annoying guys who kept requesting it. Excellent analysis. Yeah, that was fun. The Friday before Halloween, we released a reaction that I had done to the Fountain of Lambeth, which is from Caress of Steel, celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. And I thought that I had heard some of, or all of the big epics from Rush. Not that one. And it was awesome. I really, really enjoyed it. Great stuff. Excellent. So let me tell you about what I have coming up this week. It's going to be a fun week, friends. First of all, I'm coming back to Metallica for Metal Monday. Call it a Metallica Monday. The only time that we've heard Metallica on the channel this year was back in August. And I heard Ride the Lightning, the title track from that particular album. And it was great. I really enjoyed it, and it got me thinking as I was wanting to come back to Metallica before the end of the year. I'm like, okay, what from them should I do? What should I do? And then I went back to the last one that I reacted to, and it was the title track from Ride the Lightning. I'm like, okay, how many from that album have I actually reacted to? And it turns out that I've now reacted to right at half of that album. There's 8 songs on the album. I've reacted to 4 of them, but the other 3 were from like 3 and 4 years ago, y'all, and I barely remember them, if at all. I remember more about them than I remember about those songs, and I remember what they sounded like. So here's what I'm doing. Tomorrow, Ride the Lightning, side 1. I'm gonna go through the entire album. This week we're gonna do side 1, the first 4 songs, and then next week on the 10th we'll do side 2 and get to the last 4 songs on the album. When that came out, you probably either had the LP or the cassette, right? So this will be side 1. You put the cassette in, and then, you know, you rewind it and you play it again, rewind it, play it again, then you turn the cassette over, right? We remember what it was like, don't we? So Ride the Lightning. And I'm using the version of that album that is made available by the band. And I don't know what mix it is or what version or anything. It's just the main version that the band wants people to hear now on their YouTube channel. That's the one that I think I'm going to go with. And so tune in, y'all, and hang out with us as we do a Big Metal Monday with some Metallica. Ride the Lightning. Awesome. Awesome. Can't wait. On Tuesday, over on Patreon, it's our next Extended Play Lounge, and I put up some jazz fusion albums that were on our list, and One of a Kind from Bill Bruford won our poll, and I'm excited about hearing this, y'all. This is I'm into brand new territory when it comes to hearing this solo album from Bill Bruford. Of course, I've heard his drumming with King Crimson, with Yes, and I'm ready to go, y'all. I'm ready for some jazz fusion, and I'm ready to get it rolling this week. So that'll be our Extended Play Lounge episode over on Patreon on Tuesday. Yeah. So on Wednesday, you know, last week we were paying tribute to Ed Rakers. This week we're going to pay tribute to Rick Davies of Supertramp, who has recently passed away, and I wasn't able to get to a remembrance video to him as timely as I would have liked to, although we did take a look at the Moody Blues, Every Good Boy Deserves Favor, that whole album, soon after he passed. But on Wednesday, I'm going to go back to the Extended Play Lounge that I did a few years ago when I heard Crime of the Century, the entire album, because I went looking for some classic Rick Davies songs, and we're going to hear the title track, Crime of the Century, and Bloody Well Right from that album, and we'll talk about Rick Davies and enjoy some of his music. So that'll be on Wednesday. I was planning and hoping to have a conversation with the lead singer of Leprous, Einar, about their new live album. That got, it was scheduled, then it got rescheduled, and then we just couldn't make it work. We couldn't get together, y'all, because now the band is busy. They are now on tour. They have started a new tour, and with me being in America and them touring in Europe and the time and everything else, and it just wasn't going to work. So we've postponed the interview until we can come back to it and make it work. But here's what I'm planning for Friday. I want to include a little bit of music from Leprous. I want to include a little bit of music from several bands on Friday. Here's my idea, y'all. It is not going to be a regular Masterpiece Friday. It is not going to be a regular reaction and hang on, don't almost knock stuff over. All right. It's not going to be a regular reaction video. I'm sharing with y'all. I don't even know what to call it yet. Like music you got to hear, underrepresented artists, or New Music Friday, or whatever I'm going to call it. There are 3 or 4 bands that have brand new music coming out either this Friday or that's come out really recently that I want to broadcast to everybody. I always hear there's no good music being made anymore, Doug. It's all crap. You got to look at the old stuff. I'm like, well, I've been hearing some great stuff brought to me mostly by the members of our community. The Daily Doug community, especially in our Doug on Demands. Fran, I've got Tedeschi trucks later this month. We're going to do Midnight in Harlem later this month. Got them going. Yeah, so here's what I've been thinking about doing for a long time. The collective musical wisdom of the people that are part of the Daily Doug community continues to astound me. And these Doug on Demands that we do on Sunday, a couple times a month, is it's just extraordinary, and it's turned into a lot of these folks going, I know about this band. Not many people know about them. Y'all got to hear this, or y'all got to hear this, and it's become just a way to share music that for the most part is underrepresented. And I love it. I'm like, I gotta hear this. People have to hear this. Why does this band have less than 1,000 monthly listeners on Spotify? They're great. So here's what I want to do on Friday. I'm gonna walk you through. I'm not gonna play all of the tunes. That's gonna be the main difference. But I'm gonna go, all right, here's this one that you need to hear. Here's this one that you need to hear. And I'll play, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever it feels like. I'll figure it out by the time that I get to Friday. I've got some bands that are a little more well known that have some new music coming out that I want to make y'all aware of, and I've got some bands that I would have never ever heard of if it wasn't for the great people that are in the Daily Doug community, and I want to share them with the broader Daily Doug community and let people know where to find these folks, right? We can share our collective musical wisdom and love with the broader world and help out our musician friends, and just spread great music. So I'm hoping, Matt is asking, do you know who the bands are yet? Not well enough to run down, and I don't know how many of them I'm going to put in, but I am going to go back and consider especially the last 3, 4, or 5 DODs and see what are the cool ones in there from people that I could share, So that's kind of the point of view where I'm going, and I like that one, Ricky. Hot picks. What else did people put in? Undiscovered gems. The sample case. I like that. To Daily Doug, that's funny, David. I like that. Necessary tracks, that'll work. Rock and roll. Cool. So I'm hoping that it turns out well. I'm hoping that people watch it. I'm hoping that there's good energy around that, because I'd like to start doing this on a recurring basis and have it be a new feature of the channel and go, y'all, over the past month or 6 weeks or 2 months, here's some new music that I've heard, or music that you've probably never heard that you should hear. That's where I'm going. Yeah, that's Doug's Diamonds. The Doug It Nugget. Thank you, Soggy. That's funny. Kelly's calling it fresh meat. Whatever works. Whatever works. That's funny. No, XBIA, I ended up not getting a chance to chat with Einar. He was traveling, taking some personal time before they started on their tour, and just tracking him down, and getting a time for us to chat just ended up not being able to happen. So we'll do it some other time. But I do think that I'm going to include some new music from Leprous on Friday as well. Like, they're one of the more known bands that have relatively new music out that I want to lift up as well. So I'm excited. I'm excited to share that with y'all. So we've got a big week, friends. Metallica, Ride the Lightning, side 1. We're going to do a Bill Bruford Jazz Fusion album over on Patreon on Tuesday. We're going to hear some music from Supertramp and lift up Rick Davies and his contribution to music into that band. And on Thursday, actually, there's no video coming out on Thursday, but Megan and I get to go see Jacob Collier live in concert, doing a solo gig in Princeton. And we're excited about going to see him. I've wanted to see him do his thing for about eight years since I've become aware of his music. And then on Friday, I'm going to do the countdown. Like, these are the 8 new songs or the 8 new pieces that you need to hear, something like that. Like what Ray said. People click on lists. People like lists, right? Yeah, Soggy, you've broken the concert curse, so enjoy it. Yeah, indeed, we did get to go see Steve, so we're ready. We're ready to go see Jacob here this week, and it's going to be just lovely. The only other thing, a week from today, we have our next Doug on Demand, so look for that this week. But that's what we got, friends. Metallica, Ride the Lightning, Bill Bruford, One of a Kind, Supertramp, Crime of the Century, and Bloody Well Right. And a special episode on Friday. Special episode. New music Friday. Awesome. Let's see. What else are y'all talking about here? That's nice, Ruth. As you plan to have snippets, how about Fresh Fusion Friday? That could work. We always love alliteration, so however I can make that work, that'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah, Andrew, Mo might be one of those bands that I want to lift up, right? As well as, what was the one that you played for us? BT, that electronic one? That was great. So I'll have to go back and look through what the roster of stuff was, and put some of that together. Okay? Yeah. Andrew, I shared that BT track with our friend John Franek, and I told him, this is going to transport you. And he's like, yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah, that was great. So thank you for sharing that. That's what it's all about, friends. Sharing music with friends. That's what it was like back in the day. You know, you'd just gather around the stereo, and you'd put the record on, and you'd listen, and you'd enjoy it with friends. And you talk about how it makes you feel. You'd go to the shows together, you know, and it just brings folks together. And anything that brings people together these days, that's what we're about. That is what we are about. Looking forward to it, you know. Anything else? Anything else that you've got for me today? Questions, comments, concerns? Right, Matt, that Armin album, that's going to be out Friday as well. I'll check. I'll see what I can do. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, that's what I got. We got some, I think I'm actually working. Ray is asking, will Ride the Lightning be the full album? Over 2 weeks. I'm going to do side 1 this week and side 2 next week on 2 consecutive Mondays. That's what's going to happen. John, I've still got Anthony Phillips on my list, and I have heard him play now because I did. What was the name of that? Trespass. I heard Trespass, that album from Genesis back in September now, and really enjoyed all of the 12-string guitar work, especially on that. Oh, Bigfoot, and that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea to listen to the new Leprous as a music club. Oh, Ben's got a thank you, Ben. Ben's got a music club. What time is that? I can't remember. I'm going to the Discord to see when the event is set here. Event. He's doing some Tangerine Dream. It starts in about 30 minutes. Starts about 2 o'clock. So I'll be sure. I don't know how long. I think I'll pop in for a while, but we have some other things that we need to get to this afternoon. So I'll be on for as long as I can. Thank you for doing that. He's taking a look at some music from Tangerine Dream. There you go. Lovely. What else? Tim says Sabaton has a new album out. Thank you. I'll take a look at that. Imperial Modesty asked me if I'm a fan of Dvorak. Yes, I am. Wonderful composer. Yeah, Andrew, isn't that interesting? Andrew says, I was noticing last night of how little of Hackett's guitar was actually on the Lamb. They played 5 songs from it. It might be the first 10th that he might leave. When I saw that particular show, the Steve Hackett show that they're currently doing, the first set was all from Hackett's solo repertoire. And then he came back and did some Lamb stuff, and then they finished that second set with Supper's Ready, which was a highlight. And then they did Firth of Fifth and Los Endos as the encore, and those were definitely highlights. But if I had to pick the solo set or the Lamb set, I'd pick the solo set because the guitar work was that much more flashy to see and hear him play live. You know, it was great to hear Nad singing the Lamb stuff, but I really enjoyed the solo set as well. Cool. Wonderful. Funi, I don't know that one. I don't know that Bartok opera. Wonderful. Y'all, it's always great to catch up with you to see what's on your mind. What am I doing, Meg? So Megan is saying, Doug, pay attention. I am paying attention. What did I miss? That's what I missed. Me has an idea. Thank you. Megan's looking out for me. Me is saying, look what I dug up as the name of the series for the new one on Friday. The music is the thing, y'all. That's the idea. That is the idea. So I am going to get back to the rest of my lunch. I'm going to get ready and enjoy a little bit of our music club led by Ben here at 2. And we're going to enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. And we'll catch you during the week as we do. I mean, let me walk you through it one more time. Tomorrow, Metallica, Ride the Lightning, side 1, 4 songs. On Tuesday, the whole album, Bill Bruford, One of a Kind. We'll get some jazz fusion. On Wednesday, we're celebrating the life of Rick Davies. We're going to hear some music from Crime of the Century, from Supertramp. And then on Friday, I am bringing you some underrepresented bands and music that I have learned about because of folks here in the community, as well as share with you some new music that is dropping that I think you should pay attention to. That'll be our Friday, and that'll be a great week, y'all. A really, really, really great week. So I'm excited to get to it. I thank you all for being with me, and let me know what you think about the new background. Yeah? I think I'm going to rotate these more often than I have been, and just share the love. But I wanted to get the one of our dog, of Trixie, in there. That's one of these illuminated pieces from Starzy Creations that I have here on the wall. It's just bigger, and it's designed to go on the wall or to, like, you know, be propped up, and it's just a nice little picture of Trixie, and that makes me feel just right here as I am working at my desk. So thanks y'all for hanging out with me today, and I will see you along the way. Good Lord, Doug, wrap it up a little bit better. I'll see you along the way this week as we get to the rest of the music that we need to get to. Great stuff. Okay, y'all, we'll see you soon. I need to pick this up, and I will leave you, I will leave you just with Music is Universe, y'all, and that'll be good. Be well, friends. Cheers.